Hello, Revere, and welcome to our Revere Veterans and Community Show. Today we have a real veteran from the military. Her name is Kristin Case. She's been in the U.S. Air Force. She's been discharged from the U.S. Air Force, Kristin?
Yes, sir.
And you were an E4?
Yes.
So before we start, tell us a little about yourself.
I was an intelligence analyst in the Air Force. I was stationed in Florida, Texas, and Los Angeles, California, and it was pretty much the best thing I've ever did.
Right, and you was also with the ROTC High School in Florida, I believe.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
It was actually Army ROTC, but it, gave me a lot of benefits and helped me in my path to the Air Force.
What air base, by the way, were you stationed at?
Los Angeles, California.
Very good. And the planes, what kind of planes?
We actually didn't have an airfield. We worked on satellite systems.
Oh, so you were in the intelligence?
Yes.
And I was in the intelligence too when I was in the Army, which is in Germany at the time. So I was back in the 40s, and you were recently.
Yep.
Right. And I would like to introduce another gentleman who's sitting on your left. I believe he's your grandfather?
He is, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. John Powers, the president of the Revere City Council.
Thank you, Morris.
Welcome,
thank
welcome,
you,
and
Morris.
thank you for your service.
And thank you for having us here today.
Hey, it's a pleasure to have you here, John.
Very happy to be here. And you have my granddaughter here. I'm very proud of her. She spent 4 years in the military serving her country. And to me, that was a great thing. She volunteered, enlisted, and that's very important today. And I think it's very important that it sets an example for all of our young people around the country that if you serve your country and you protect your country, you're protecting the freedoms and the liberties that servicemen have protected from Bunker Hill to Baghdad. We've always protected the liberties and always been grateful for the privileges that we have in this country. There's no other country in the world like it, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree with you, John. Kristin, I'd like to get back to you for 1 minute. You know, they consider us the greatest generation of World War II, but you're also one of the greatest generation of today, because it's people like you that keep us free. And we fought for this country. You fought for this country. But I would like to ask you, what made you go into the Air Force?
It was just always a dream of mine to serve the country, even when I was little, and it's kind of silly, but just like from the movies and like the honor that I saw the people in movies and everything, and then in ROTC, like the people that were in charge of us, everyone was just so proud of it.
Was you a good student in school?
I was a good student, yeah, I'd say so.
I couldn't say that for myself. You know, John, I got to tell you sometime. I went over to my teacher. I said to her, I says, if you don't do nothing, are you going to get in trouble? And she says, of course not, Morris. I says, that's good, because I didn't do my homework, you know. So she gave me an F, and I says, why did you give me an F? And she says, because that's the lowest mark I could give you. So what are your future plans, by the way?
I'm interested in becoming a local police officer.
Well, the city of Revere could use you. And you are majoring in, I believe, in criminal justice. And you're going to which college?
Bunker Hill Community College.
And what grade are you in there, by the way?
I've been there for 2 years.
And how many years is the course, by the way?
2, but I started taking an EMT course to begin with. So I'll be graduating in May.
Well, this coming next year,
yes.
For 16? Good luck. Go ahead.
Thank you. And that's about it. I've just been working using the post 9/11 GI Bill to help pay for school. Everything so far here has been great, because I'm not originally from here, but I came here to go to school.
Where are you originally from, Kristin?
Florida.
What part?
It's in the middle of nowhere, St. Cloud, Florida.
My brother, he lived in Florida. I'm trying to think, was Marion Oaks or some place called by that name? You ever hear it?
No, I'm not familiar.
Okay. Go ahead.
But that's it. Yeah, I'm just going to school. If I get picked up by the police department, That'd be great. But if not, then I might transfer to BU.
I'm sure the police department of Revere would love to have you, if that's where you'd like to be.
Hope so.
Okay.
Yeah, we look forward to that. Kristin is a very conscientious, hardworking young lady.
Definitely. I mean, you know, to go into the Army, then come out of the Army, go back to school, that's really good.
And she's looking to serve her community any way she can, and I know she'll do that, and I know her marks will be up there high enough to propel her into that service.
So you'll be a double veteran, a veteran of the military and a veteran of the community,
Yep.
serving the community. That's an honor to have you.
Yeah.
John, you were on the city council. You've been there 16 years.
I have. I started back in 2000. I ran in a special election. There were 8 candidates, and I was successful in winning the seat as the Ward 5 councillor. I've been there ever since. I work at it very diligently, I think. And
I think so too, and I think the people of Revere do.
Yeah, well, yes, obviously they do. They've kept me there that long. And my idea, I'm a retiree, and my idea is to get out and work and be a full-time city councilor. And I've done that, and only because I've had the time to do that. I dare say if I had a job somewhere else in Boston or some other city, I'd find it very difficult to serve my constituency on a full-time basis, because things come up every day. People call you every single day in the week. They have some problems are minor, some problems are major, some things you can do, most things you can do, and many things you can't do right away.
Right, I got to ask you, not mentioning anyone's name, what are some of the questions that people ask you as a counselor when they call you? What is it they ask you about?
They have flooding problems. We've addressed down in the Oak Island section. We've done a great job in addressing the flooding problems down there. We tripled the capacity of the storm drains down there. We did repave the roadways down there after doing that. People call you. They have problems with potholes every day. We're working on that right now, and I understand we're going to be doing a lot of that in the next couple of weeks. We're going to have a couple of crews out there, thank God. And but it's many different things that people call you about. Utility poles. They call you about the drainage in their home, the sewer backups. Right now we're in the process of, under a consent decree, relining all of the old sewer pipes in the city. And they are old. Many of them are clay pipes, and they need to be relined.
Right. I have to say one thing, though. I come from the Beachmont section of Revere, and I travel to the senior center. I come down Winthrop Avenue. They did a lot of sewer work, but about a week or two ago, down there at the baseball field, if my memory serves me correct, the street was flooded again.
I passed over that myself, and it's...
What was the cause of that flood?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I know that they've had problems down there with the ball field, the Little League field.
Right, that's the one I'm talking about.
Haven't been able to use it.
They haven't been able to use it?
No, they haven't been able to use it this year, and that's not a good thing when you have kids that... Little League to me is a great thing, whether it's St. Mary's or Revere Little League. It's important that kids have that basic that outlet to get their energies out there when they're young and participate in a game where they're working with other individuals to get along in life.
Right. You did a beautiful job, you and the city of Revere, at the Harry De La Russa Stadium, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's...
Is that done or almost done?
That's just about finished now. I know they did some lettering in there on the hot top last week. So I think that's just about done, and I think it's going to be a great thing for the youth of this city.
I do too.
The original stadium was built under WPA days, the Work Progress Administration.
That's at the Roosevelt's time.
That's correct, and so we all know that was back in the
that was before your time.
30s and 40s.
40s, right.
Yeah, and so what they're going to have down there is a first-class stadium, first-class athletic field. It's going to be used for many different sports down there, and it's adjacent to the new Hill School, which that's another thing we've done in the city. When I came on the city council back in 2000, there was a proposal before us to build 5 new elementary schools. Well, the Hill School is the 5th school being built, and I think that's going to be a tremendous asset to the children of the McKinley School area that'll be going over there as soon as that school opens.
That'll be great. Now, John, before we went on the air, you showed me a letter that you got from the White House, but I'd rather you talk about it.
I did. I received a letter today wishing me a happy birthday from Barack and Michelle
Is today your
Obama.
birthday?
No, it's July 10th.
Mine is July 7th, which is
So we're pretty close.
very close.
And it was very, it was heartwarming to receive that. And I don't know how they knew it was my birthday. Somebody must have told them. I certainly didn't. But I was very happy to see that. And
That was both from Obama and Michelle.
well, it came in an envelope and it said the White House on it. And then the letter was inside,
right.
and it was signed by Michelle and Barack Obama.
Right.
And it was a good feeling. And I think that's, you know, that's an important thing in this country, that we enjoy and respect the office of President of the United States. It's the,
I respect the office of the President of the United States, too.
The thing that amazes me is that 239 years ago, whether it was in Boston or New York or Philadelphia, there were revolutionaries out there fighting for freedom and liberties against King George, I believe, and they weren't given much of a chance at that time by the average person. And when you look at what 239 years ago, what it was and what it is today, we're in Afghanistan and Iraq, trying to protect the liberties and the freedoms for those people over there and all over the free world. We have servicemen standing guard today in all different sections of the world, protecting and preserving those liberties as they should be. And I think every nation in this world should be free.
I agree with you.
And not under a dictatorship of any type, but under a democracy. You know, we have the greatest democracy in the world right here in America, and I think sometimes people don't pay it that much thought. It's great when you can get up and you can put a sign on your house and support some candidate that's running for office, whether it's national, state, or local. Or you don't have to put the sign on your house, and you can go in that voting booth and vote for who you want. And I don't think there's any greater gift that the Patriots gave us than that right there.
I agree with you. I want to get back to Christine here
Thank
for a
you.
minute. Christine, beside everything you've mentioned so far, tell us about some of your hobbies, the pictures, I mean, the movies you like or the hobbies you like to do.
I'm a really, really big reader. I read, in the summer I go to the beach, and in the winter I go snowboarding. That's pretty much it.
That's it?
Yeah.
And what books do you like to read? What pictures do you like to see? Who's your favorite actress? Who's your favorite? You like music?
A little bit of everything. I like country music, everything.
Who's your favorite artist in country?
Miranda Lambert. I don't know.
No, that's good. That's good. I like country music too. I love Chinese music. Okay, so I thought you liked that too. No, and what is your favorite hobby?
Reading.
That was my worst hobby. You know what I would do? Well, my reading wasn't as good as when I was a kid. I mean, I wanted to get out and play, and we did have to read a lot. So I would buy the comic books that they would have, the stories, and I would read the comic books, and sometimes I would hand in my book report based on the comic books in there. But they were good comic books. They were about American history. So I thought you'd like a little about that. Now, the Army Air Force, can you give us just a little history about the Air Force? When did it change from Army Air Force to Air Force? I don't get that.
Why did it change?
No, when did
when?
it change or whatever?
Decades ago. I don't know the exact year.
I guess it became a separate branch of its own now.
It did, yep. We moved into more aerospace. Actually, the Navy has more airplanes than the Air Force does.
Is it?
Yep.
And that's, in other words, there's the Navy Air Force, the Army Air Force, and the U.S. Air Force.
Sort of, yeah. We all have our own like military assets,
Right.
but we do a lot of satellite systems and rockets in the Air Force now.
Oh, so what do? Sit behind a desk and control the rockets as they go?
No, not me personally.
No, but I mean, that's what people do?
Yeah.
But they have to, what about the drones? Does the Air Force have anything to do with the drones?
Yeah, they fly them from Nevada.
Oh, they do?
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, they have people sitting somewhere else and watching a drone that's way out in the Middle East somewhere.
Yep.
Very good. Yeah. Very good, John. See, you mentioned it.
Yeah, they have it all today, the youth. You know?
Yeah.
They really do.
And I have to tell you something. I saw this on TV. It's funny you mention it. This was on one of the networks yesterday, on Shopping Network. I don't want to mention their name on TV. They had a drone with a camera built in. Maybe you've seen it on television.
I've seen some.
Right, it's about a couple of $100, and you can fly it up to 300 feet high, and you could take pictures. Like if you got kids playing in the yard, or your kid is driving to school, you can have your drone follow him to make sure that he gets there today. Yeah. So there's really no privacy anymore, John.
I think the technology that will be coming down the road, when you look at the past 100 years, from the inception of the automobile and the
1903,
telephone,
the Wright brothers.
Yeah. And look what we have today. I had occasion to go to Ireland a couple of years ago, and it just amazed me. Flying over the Atlantic Ocean to Europe and thinking back on the Wright brothers and how they started out, and Amelia Earhart and people like that. It just amazed me how far we've come today.
You know, I was funny you mentioned it. I was in Germany during the Berlin blockade, and when the Russians put the blockade on, we had to fly from Frankfurt to Berlin to bring in potatoes, coal, because we couldn't get anything in through the Autobahn because they had that blocked off. And it lasted, I think, for about 10 or 11 months. And then they lifted the blockade. So, the Air Force did a terrific job. And thanks to the Air Force, by the way, they saved Germany, really.
When you see those F-16s, whether they're Navy or Air Force, the things that they can do, maneuverability, and that diamond head formation, you realize how great they are protecting this country and other countries around the world, just by being there, whether they're carrier-based or they're land-based.
It's funny that you should mention that because you're going to be a police officer, correct?
Yeah.
And when I'm sure you've seen this on TV, when the bomb squad wants to go in to check something, they send one of their drones in there or one of their robots in there to do the work for them to make sure that no one gets hurt but the robot itself.
Yeah.
So that's the fantastic thing that they have today. When I was a kid, even the radios today, or the telephones you have today, right there, John. I mean, that's like a computer in itself.
Well, actually, it is a type of a computer because you can go online, you can get instant information instantaneously. It's I've got I think I've got 1,200 phone numbers in this phone. Years ago, you had to call information, dial 411. You don't have to do that anymore. If you want to look up something that's 40 years ago, 50 years ago, you pull it right out of your computer. It's a great thing, and I think the technology down the road is going to be even so much further advanced. God knows what we'll be looking at.
Yeah, so the new advances coming, Christine. When we were kids, we had radios. Remember the wireless radios where you push a little thing with transistors, you push it, and then you were lucky if you got any sound at all, really, at the time. Today they have wireless. I mean, we didn't even think. I remember when you and I, John, I don't know how old you are, but I remember Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, Dick Tracy, the wristwatches that they had in comic books, that they would have a wristwatch that could pick up the talk, or you could talk to and down. We laughed at that. That would never happen. Or Flash Gordon or Buck Rogers heading out to space. We're way beyond that today.
We've far excelled that.
Christine, I got to interrupt you, John.
Sure.
You got to forgive me. We give a flag to every veteran that comes on our show. On behalf of Mayor Rizzo, the City of Revere, and the Revere Veterans Service, we would like to present this to you. But I also understand, John, that you have a little surprise for Christine.
I certainly do. The mayor sent down.
Mayor Dan Rizzo?
Mayor Dan Rizzo sent down a gift here for
her or
our
for
guest.
me?
No, it's for our guest today.
Oh, okay.
And it's a
wow.
It's a laptop computer.
Thank you.
And this is something I'm sure she can use in her studies and as she moves along through life.
Thank you.
Don't thank me. Thank Mayor Rizzo and
yeah.
the City of Revere.
Yeah,
I have nothing to do with that.
Yeah. But this is from the City of Revere, and this is a way that when veterans come on here, we recognize them by presenting them with, for their service to their country, something like this. So
Yep.
congratulations.
That's the least we could do
and,
for you, Christine.
I'm going to use
The
it for
city?
school.
I'm sure that'll come in handy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could talk to the computer, you know, literally. I mean, you know, I got to tell you, up to about 3.5 months ago, 4 months ago, I was what I consider a computer dummy. I wouldn't go near these things because I didn't even know where the switch was. But thanks to some people right here at Revere TV, they made sure I learned a little of it. I'm not a computer, I mean, a real computer, but I know basics. I know where the switch is now, and I know you need electricity to run it.
Well, I'm getting into it recently, the past couple of years, and you know, it's just a great thing when you can just ask a question and the answer will come up.
I have a computer that was given to me. I want to thank the gentleman who he told me never to mention his name, and I told him I wouldn't, but he knows who he is, and I want to thank him. He gave me a computer with a burner, John. Before you go, I'd like to show you what I learned from that gentleman. If you could spend about 10 minutes in the office with us.
Glad to, yeah. Maybe you'll teach me something.
No, I'll show you what I do. Maybe you could even teach me something. You know, it's good. We learn from the young, but we have experience. But we learn new things from you people. And by the way, talking about young, we have some young city councilors that we have, like Brian Arrigo. We have Janasso, I believe her name is.
Janino, Jessica Janino.
And Steve Marabito.
Steve Marabito and the McKenna girl,
Yep.
Joanne McKenna. She's
These are all young kids.
joined us on the city council, and they bring an awful lot of wisdom to the city council.
Right, they bring the new things to us.
Yeah, and we can complement them with some of our experiences, and I think that's going to work to make the City of Revere a much better city and a much better place to live in down the road.
Right, and I would like to thank you, the City Council, the people of Revere, and the Mayor, because we went through two terrific catastrophes. Number one was the tornado, which happened a year ago this month, July 28, I believe. And then we had a record-breaking snowstorm here while you were in Florida enjoying the sun. Okay?
No, you know, we hit sort of a double whammy hit us, and I
Yep.
think the resiliency of the citizens of this city and the elected officials and the people at City Hall and the people down the city yard, our police and our fire departments, we all worked in concert to get out from under that tornado, and I think we did, and to get out from under the blizzard, and we did that, and we're still finishing up with a few potholes now. But I know it's not because of any one person, it's not because of any group of elected officials, it's the resiliency of the citizens of this city that have done this. And we're going to keep working at it 100% until everything is resolved. Our fifth school is coming online, our stadium is built. I think people are very fortunate.
You did a beautiful job on that new school down on Malden Street, the Whalen School, I believe it is.
Unbelievable, isn't
Yep.
it? You know,
Beautiful.
And I these are things that I understand we're going to be looking at a high school pretty soon.
New one.
And
We got about, John, excuse me, we got about 3 minutes left, 3.5 minutes. Christine, let me give the young lady, our guest here, about 1.5 minutes to say anything you want, Christine. Anything, thanking the people for the gift or whatever you like to.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the mayor and the city for this gift. It's great. I'm definitely going to use it for school. It's going to help a lot. And I'd just like to encourage the students in the city, you know, maybe look into the careers in the Air Force or any military branch, because the benefits are excellent. From school and from serving your country, just everything has been a great opportunity for me.
Go ahead, John. Take a minute or so.
And I think what she says is very true. You know, there's so much out there. There's so much in the service. There's so many places you can go and see. There's so many rewards, and it's fulfilling for yourself and also for your parents, and in my case, your grandparents.
Right.
That you make us very proud, and you make your community proud, and that's what it's all about. That's what makes America the greatest country in the world, and that's why we just celebrated our 239th birthday.
Right.
Because we're Americans and we're proud.
Right, Kristina, because of people like you, you make our country, the United States of America, real proud to have you. So I would like to take a minute up and say thank you for coming on our show, our Revere TV community show, the Revere Veterans, but you're a double community veteran. And John, I want to thank you for taking the time
Morris.
To spend the time with us here.
I'm glad to be here.
And it was an honor to have you both here. And let me finish like I always do by saying God bless you, John, and especially God bless you, Kristin, for coming on our show. God bless our troops and our great country, the United States of America, and especially our service people overseas, because they're the ones that keep us free. Thank you all for listening.
And Morris, God bless you for producing this show as you do.
No, you got to give Revere TV credit.
Revere
They're the
TV,
producers.
100%.
I'm just a host here, a volunteer host.
You're a big part of this too.
Just a volunteer host.
Okay.
That's right. And the second best host, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll let it go with that. Okay. Thank you.